Hey guys, Gav321 here. This is my old PC that I built about a year ago on this channel, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a little upgrade. So one thing that I really like to do is resell stuff and try to buy stuff at a deal price. So last year when I bought this processor for this PC, I got it for $150 on Prime Day, and I just recently sold it. It's a Ryzen 7 2700 for $170, so a nearly made profit. The main reason I did it is because I saw a sale at Micro Center for this right here. This is the Ryzen 7 3700X. I saw this on Micro Center for $260 from its normal $330. So with this processor having the 7nm architecture and way higher boost clocks than my current processor, I will be getting rid of those gaming bottlenecks that I've been seeing and really getting that boost from Ryzen 3rd Gen that a lot of people have seen in benchmarks. This is the Cooler Master TD500 Mesh. It's their new case. Very similar to their other cases on the inside and like the main box, but the main thing is the front. It's white. As you can see, I like white. I just think it looks so much more clean than black and not as boring. So with this case, there's a mesh front panel that'll get a ton of air in, a lot more airflow through the whole system, as it has a full top mesh, front mesh, and a rear fan, obviously. So to complement that, I also bought this right here. It's a Cooler Master Halo fan. I got the white one. It hasn't gotten here yet, but when it does, I'll be installing it, and it will be in this video. So with that out of the way, we're going to get into basically taking this system all the way apart and rebuilding it inside of this one, and we're going to cleaning it all off, and then we're actually going to show you the benchmarks of the new processor and the new airflow and what improvements it made to the overall performance. So now I've pulled out all the parts out of the old case, and I'm going to get ready to clean them all off with the duster and get ready to put them in the new case. So we're ready to open this up, check out the accessories, and see what kind of new stuff we're going to have to plug in. And then I'm going to have to figure out this mess of RGB with all the new fans that we're going to have. guys, so here in the BIOS on my old processor, when I did all these benchmarks, the farthest I could really push it was 3.8 gigahertz. I know in my cooler video I was able to get it to like 4.1, but it kept on crashing after long periods of use. So I set it back to 3.8, and that's as far as I could push it. But with this processor being an X SKU and being on the 3000 series, which is a lot easier to overclock, I basically just set this to 44, and it automatically overclocked to 4.4 gigahertz, which is its boost clock, and it hasn't crashed on me once. I also set my RAM to 3000 megahertz, which is what it was at on my old system. That's all I did for overclocks. Now we're going to run all the benchmarks and do some comparisons. Starting off the benchmarks with the Cinebench R20 drag race, as you can see here with that upgraded boost clock and 780 architecture, this CPU absolutely destroys the 2700. Remind you that these both have 8 cores and 16 threads, which is pretty crazy. It gets an average score of 5100 compared to around 3400, which is a 66% improvement, which I am definitely noticing while editing this video. Now remember, this is a CPU intensive benchmark, so now we're going to get into gaming benchmarks. So starting off with Unigine Heaven here, I ran it on all extreme values at 1920 by 1080 with FXAA anti-aliasing. Now all these tests are at 300%, so they look a little fast compared to what they are in real time. But nevertheless, you can see here, since this is a GPU intensive benchmark, the FPS barely changes. Compared to my old system, it's only about 2% improvement, and I kind of expected that because the CPU was basically doing nothing, running at around 30% utilization during the whole test. Alright, so starting off the first gaming benchmark with Rainbow Six Siege. This is not a very intensive game because it's just like an esports game. This is one of my favorite games, and it's going to be a little better at representing the overall system improvement because it's not just a CPU or GPU exclusive benchmark. So with this one, we saw a 10 FPS improvement, or about 5% gain, which is pretty good, but about what I expected for this kind of stuff. So the next game here is Rust. Now Rust is a little hard to benchmark because all the maps are different. I tried to do it in the same server and tried to sort of do the same thing with mining trees and maybe building a little twig house, as you'll see here. But again, a similar improvement, not very big. But one thing that I did notice with both of these games is that there was a lot less stuttering. The minimum FPS was a lot higher on the new CPU, probably because of better optimization and things like that. So it ended up being a 13% gain for about 12 FPS in this case. Not really that noticeable, but I'm pretty happy with the overall system improvements, especially in Cinebench, so that ends off the benchmarks. So that was my video on upgrading my PC. If you want to check out or buy any of the parts that were in this video, I'll have them all linked in the description to probably Amazon. I would highly recommend this case because of the features you get for its price. At only $100, you're getting 3 ARGB fans, you're getting that nice cracked glass, you're getting the mesh on the front and top, which is going to give you great airflow through your whole system, and it still looks cool. Same thing with that fan. It's a lot cheaper than Corsair stuff at around $22, and it's about the same to me with the ARGB and the ring around the edge, especially being white. There's not a lot of white premium ARG fans, especially at $22. If you guys have any questions or suggestions on future PC videos, leave them in the comments down below and I'll be sure to answer them. I love making PC videos, but it's kind of hard to make a whole PC build, obviously a lot because it's expensive. But if you guys want to see any videos on any of the parts in there, leave it in the description and I'll try to make a video on it. And with that, the video is over and I'll see you guys in the next one. Gav321 out. Bye.